We are now on the record. This is the People versus Wilfredo Figueroa Berrios, case number 2506025-401, criminal sexual conduct, third degree. Appearances for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Grace Roden, appearing on behalf of the people, P80298, with the officer in charge, Detective Kenneth Valerie.
Detective Kenneth Valerie.
And badge number, please.
D722.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Deborah Schlossel, P56460, on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Wilfredo Figueroa Berrios, who's my last state name.
My name is Wilfredo Figueroa Berrios.
And today is the date and time scheduled for preliminary exam. Are we ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor. Is there a particular victim you would like to begin with? Before we begin?
Go right ahead, ma'am.
Your Honor, I do understand that this has gained, garnished quite a bit of media attention. The victims are incredibly nervous. I would just ask that they not be videoed, their face not be videoed, and that none of their personal identifying information not go out in the media.
Absolutely, the court will grant an order that will protect the victims' identities and their actual faces from being displayed in the media.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Are there any other preliminary matters?
Just a mutual order of sequestration and reception for the officer in charge. I do not see any of the people's witnesses in the gallery.
Any witnesses
No, you're not here, Your Honor.
in the gallery?
No.
Thank you. You can proceed with your first
Thank you,
witness.
Your Honor. The people bring your attention to August 12th, 2025. Does something happen to you on that day that brings you to court today?
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up if that's okay.
Yes.
Could you
Yes.
tell us what happened?
I had to go to the crisis center.
Okay.
Your Honor, I can't hear the witness.
One
I-
moment. We're going to, if you could project your voice just so that everyone in the courtroom can hear you.
Okay. I had to go to the Sinai Grace Crisis Center.
And Ms. Heed, I'm sorry. I sound like I'm screaming at you. So I'm going to ask that you project your voice so all the way in the back can hear you.
I had to go to Sinai Grace Crisis Center.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And why did you have to go to Sinai Grace Crisis Center?
I had a mental breakdown, and I had too much to drink, and I was contemplating committing suicide, so I took some pain pills.
And I'm so sorry to have to ask you follow-up questions to that. So you told us that you were drinking quite a bit?
Yes.
Do you remember how much you were drinking?
Not really.
And then I believe you said you were taking some pills?
Yes.
What did you take?
I took aspirins.
Do you remember how many?
No, but it was quite a bit.
Quite a bit?
Yes.
Okay. And then how is it that you came to be in the hospital?
My ex-boyfriend called the ambulance for me.
Okay. Do you recall if you were transported by ambulance?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And do you remember roughly what time of day this was, or night?
I got to the hospital around, it was in the afternoon, like, I don't know exact time, but around like 5 in the afternoon.
5 p.m. or a.m.?
PM.
p.m. Okay. And Ms. Heed, how were you feeling after drinking and taking these pills?
I felt horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you testified you were transported by ambulance to the hospital?
Yes.
Were you admitted?
No, I was discharged the next morning.
Okay. You were discharged the next morning. Were you admitted the day that this happened?
Well,
Did you go inside the hospital?
yes.
Okay. And tell us what happens next.
Okay, I got to the hospital, they did my vitals, and gave me my gown,
Okay.
and put me in a room,
Okay.
and
And what happens next?
I was introduced to, the nurse came and introduced herself to me.
And when you say nurse came to introduce yourself, do you know who you are referring to?
Wilfredo, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
And Ms. Heed, do you see Wilfredo in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Could you please identify by something he's wearing and location in the courtroom?
he's wearing a green shirt, sitting to the right,
Could you
well,
point?
to the left of you, here.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the victim has identified Wilfredo?
So noted.
And so, when you first see him, you said he was a
Yeah, he told me his name was Nurse David.
Nurse David?
Yeah.
And what happens next?
After that, he came in my room the first time, and he was asking me, standing next to me, asking me how tall I am, and can he check something. So he slid his hand in the back of my pants and touched my vagina.
Okay, so Ms. Heed, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have several follow-up questions. So when he's in your room, and I believe you just testified he touched you, what were you wearing?
I had my hospital gown on, the green one.
You had a hospital gown?
Well, it's the pants and the shirt.
Okay. Hospital attire?
Yeah,
Okay. And were you wearing anything underneath?
no,
Okay. So just the hospital attire.
yes.
And where is he when he's asking you to stand?
Well, I was already standing up, but he was like standing kind of toward the side, toward the back of me, kind of like toward the back of me.
Okay. So he's standing slightly behind you?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the conversation at that time?
Well, he just told me his name was Nurse David, and then he just asked me how tall I was and can he check something. And after that, he took his hands out my my pants, and sniffed his fingers and said something of the nature like, that's good, and walked off and went and took his gloves off and went back to.
So, Ms. Heed, when he's standing behind you and he touches, you said your vagina?
Yes,
Could you describe to the court what you felt?
I felt his fingers on my vagina. It was quick, but he slid it down there and
To ask for more graphics, but if he's standing behind you, does he slide his hand
in the back of my pants. Yeah,
through the inside of your pants?
yeah, to
Okay.
the inside.
And then you said he managed to touch all the way to the front.
Well, he stuck two fingers on my vagina. He didn't stick it all the way in. He just like swiped.
Swiped.
Yes.
And Your Honor, may the record reflect that Ms. Heed is showing two fingers and doing a swiping motion.
So noted.
Now, Ms. Heed, if this is your vagina, would you say his fingers, that you felt his fingers go through the lips of your vagina?
Like on the lips of my vagina, like this, like
Inside. So not inside the hole, but through the lips?
right. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And let me ask you, what is going through your mind at that time?
What is he checking?
What is he
And-
checking?
Yeah. I know he's not my gynecologist, so I was confused.
Do you say anything?
You know,
And why don't you say anything?
I didn't know what to say. I had to think about the fact that that's even happening. You know, I was caught off guard.
Caught off guard?
Yeah.
And, I believe you testified he says something to you. Do you remember what he says to you?
After he took his hands on my pants, he just sniffed his fingers and said, that's good. And he walked out and took his gloves off.
Oh, you saw him take his gloves off?
Yeah, he threw them outside of the trash can outside my room.
And how long from the time that you were transported by ambulance to Sinai Grace Hospital did this happen? If you know, how much time?
Well, if I got there around like afternoon, and I think I went to sleep around, it was like late, like probably around midnight.
Okay. Was there anyone else in the room when he did this to you?
No,
Was there anybody around?
no.
And what happens next?
Well, the second time he came in, he stood next to me so I could feel his penis erect. Like he put it up against my leg, like his body against my leg. And
So, Ms. Heed, I'm gonna ask you a few follow-up questions if that's okay. So the second time he comes into your room, how much later is that from the first time?
I don't know really. It all is kind of throughout his whole shift that he was there as my nurse.
He was there the whole day as your nurse?
From the time I got there
Okay.
till when I went to sleep,
And so the second time he comes in, where are you?
I was standing in the room.
You're standing in the room?
Yeah.
And then, you testified he came up to you. Where, can you tell us how he came up to you?
It's in the same spot as before, but this time he was on like more on my side and put his, so I can put his penis on my leg, like.
Your Honor, may Ms. Heath stand up? Could you show us
may.
where?
I can on the camera, but she can stand up for the rest.
Oh, thank you. May
You
you
can-
show us where, can you stand up and show us exactly where you found his penis
Mhm.
on your leg? And if you know, do you know if it was flaccid or erect? Hard or soft?
Hard,
It was hard.
yeah.
Does he say anything to you at this point?
Yeah, he said, "You feel that?" And then I just nodded my head like, yeah, and he walked back out.
And again, what are you thinking at this time?
Didn't know what to think. I'm confused. Like, it's random. I don't know.
Do you recall if you tell anybody about what happened to you?
Yes, I told the social workers.
Tell us about that. And is this at the hospital or someplace else?
Yes, that's at the hospital. They came in to talk to me, and I told them what happened. I told them one of your employees was touching on me last night. I didn't know at the time really, nothing about him because he gave me the wrong name. So
Could you describe him?
they asked me if he was black or white. I said, he's not either. I don't know what he is because I still don't know what he is. He's mixed with something.
Okay, mixed is what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And, did you give them any other descriptors?
I just told him how many times he came in my room and what time, and I just told him he was just a lighter complexion man. I don't know his nationality or his name.
And, because of what you told them, did they do anything?
Yeah. So it was like 3 social workers that I was dealing with. So one of them, I guess maybe she was the head, I don't know for sure, but she said she was about to go investigate. So they went to go check the cameras, and they told me that they didn't see any nurse coming in and out of my room. And only nurse that they seen come in and out of my room was while I was asleep in the middle of the night to check my vitals, but that was just once.
Okay.
So they basically told me, they said they don't know who I'm talking about.
And you didn't have a name at that time?
No.
Okay. Are you eventually discharged?
Yeah, they discharged me immediately after that because I told them I didn't want to be there anymore. Because of what happened, I didn't want to be admitted. I just wanted to go home.
And I'm sorry, you said you didn't want to be there anymore because of what?
Because of that situation, and I just wanted to go home.
And how do you get home?
My ex-boyfriend came pick me up.
Do you eventually report?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I called, I called Channel 7, and they put me in contact with the detective. So I did my report with the detective.
And Ms. He, before you reported, did you do anything on your own to try to figure out who this nurse was?
Yeah, I called Sinai Grace, the crisis center, because once I figured out his name, after I seen him on the internet, I seen his name, and I already knew the face. I just didn't have a name to it. So when I called Sinai Grace to let them know, like, I know who it was now, they really kind of wasn't answering the phone for me or not really trying to deal with me, really.
So Ms. Heath, let me ask you this. You testified that you saw his face on the news.
Well, I seen it on the internet.
Oh, you saw it on the internet, I apologize. And then, did you immediately recognize who he was?
Immediately.
Okay. And, what did you do once you recognized who he was?
Well, I first called Sinai Grace, but I wasn't getting any answer from them. So I called Channel 7 because I seen, when I Googled his name to see more about him. And I seen it was more stories on him. Channel 7 did a report. So I called them and I told them, you know, what happened, and I told them everything. And they put me in contact with the detective so that I could do a report.
And did you speak with the detective?
Yes.
And is that Detective Valerie who's here in the department today?
Yes.
And did you tell Detective Valerie everything you've told the court?
Yes.
Ms. Heath, how has this incident affected you?
It's just mind blowing. It's like, at that time I was going through a lot, losing my mom, and that didn't help my mental. And I felt like they wasn't trying to hear me. Like,
Who wasn't trying to hear you?
the hospital is like, they basically told me like, maybe you're imagining things. I wasn't imagining that.
And I'm sorry, you said
I wasn't imagining that, but they basically wasn't, they just kind of brushed it off, like it didn't happen, like.
do you have a clear memory of the sexual assault that day?
Yes, very clear.
Your Honor, this time the people would move to admit under MCL 766.11B medical records from Sinai Grace Hospital from that date.
No objection, Your Honor.
As People's Exhibit 2.
Okay, the court will.
May I?
Yes, you may.
Yes.
And the court will admit that this is People's Exhibit 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. And with that, I do not have any further questions from Ms. Heath.
Any questions? Please?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Heath, do you have any convictions for crimes of fraud or dishonesty in the last 10 years?
No.
Okay. Did you review anything before testifying today?
Like, review what, like, what?
Did you review any statements that you have made to the police?
No,
Did you review the police report?
no.
Did you meet with the prosecutor?
I talked to her before I came in here.
Okay, and did she remind you of anything?
No,
Okay, have you contacted or hired a trial lawyer to sue Mr. Figueroa Berrios?
I'm going to object, Your Honor, to relevance because the standards of proof are very different.
Your Honor,
Do you have anything?
there are a number of trial lawyers that are trolling TV looking for clients regarding this.
Does it have anything to do with the
think it
criminal
goes-
matter?
It goes to the motivation and the credibility of the witness.
They would have had to contact her as a potential victim. The court is going to sustain the objection.
Your Honor, who would have had to contact her as a potential
If you're
victim?
saying that that there are trial lawyers seeking out, then that's not motivation for her. That's motivation for them to find a client. She would have been an existing client based on them identifying her. If it happened the other way around, perhaps, but that's not the case. So, sustain.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Sustain.
Okay. Have you yourself contacted any trial lawyers?
I have a lawyer.
Yeah, you have?
I have a lawyer, yes.
You do? And who is that?
His name is Bryce. I got him through Top Dog Law.
I'm sorry, I can't hear what you were saying.
I got him through Top Dog Law. His name is Bryce.
And did you yourself contact Top Dog Law?
Yes, I did.
Okay. No lawyers contacted you before you contacted them?
No,
Okay. Did you you state that this happened on what date?
On the 12th of August,
Of August of 2025?
yes.
Okay, and isn't it correct that today is the 23rd of October of 2025?
Today's October
All right.
23rd, yes.
So, when did you first contact police?
I contacted police it was toward the end of the month, like it was I don't know the exact day. It was the 20th something. I'm not exactly sure the exact date, but
How long did you wait after you got out of the hospital to contact police?
As soon as I seen the picture on the headline that the headline said Sinai Grace nurse has been touching women in a mental facility, and sure enough, that was him, and that's when I called.
And how long after, or did you contact your trial lawyer before or after that?
No, I didn't contact a lawyer till after, it was after I talked to the detective.
How long after?
Probably a few days.
A few days? Okay, so would it be fair to say that at least a month went by after you left the hospital before you contacted anyone?
No, it was that same month.
You say that it was within that same month that you contacted police?
Yes.
Okay. But you don't remember the date?
No, it was near the 20th area.
The 20th of which month?
Of August. August.
Okay. And isn't it true, you testified that you had too much to drink, correct?
Yes.
Isn't it true that your blood alcohol was tested and you had a .369 when you were at the hospital?
I don't know what exactly my blood alcohol level was, but I know it was high because they told me.
Okay, and isn't it true that you also told the hospital personnel that you consumed 10 packets of acetaminophen?
Well, I didn't specify. I don't know if I said 10. If I did, I don't remember saying 10. But I did take a lot of it. They were powder packets.
How many nurses did you have attending to you while you were in the hospital?
All I can remember is him, and I don't really remember the one that they said came in my room while I was asleep.
So it's your
So I'm
testimony.
guessing it was 2.
You're guessing? I can't take guesses.
Okay,
here.
well,
How many nurses did you attended to you that you remember?
I only remember 1.
Okay, and how many times are you saying my client came into the room?
I want to say 3 for the times that there was physical contact, but other times that he came in, it was just to say something to me, like, "Oh, your hair is so pretty," or you drank too much alcohol.
So, how many times? Again, how many times?
But those times he wasn't really fully in the room. He was standing right
Your
there.
Honor, the witness is not being responsive. Can you please direct her to answer my question?
I believe she answered the question. He came into the room several times, but she actually is trying to separate the times that she was touched versus the times that he came in to talk. So several times. She doesn't remember the exact number.
Okay, I was asking for numbers. Several could be.
Well, if she doesn't
It's a
remember,
judgment.
she doesn't remember.
All right. How
I
do you
can't force
define
her to
several?
remember.
I mean, it was a span over hours, so from the time I got there to the time that he left, and I laid down, I don't know how many times it was, but it was multiple times.
How many hours were you there?
I was there from the afternoon, the 11th, was it the 11th? It was 5 o'clock that afternoon to the next morning, that day, the next morning.
What time the next morning?
I got discharged around like 11
So,
in the AM.
it's your testimony you were there approximately 18 hours? My math is correct? Or 16 hours? Something like that? 18 hours?
Overnight, you could, yeah,
All
overnight.
right. Didn't you tell the hospital or the crisis center that you experienced PTSD and nightmares because you have been abused and raped in the past by
Objection, Your
multiple-
Honor, to relevance at rape shelter.
What is the relevancy in that?
Your Honor, she testified that she had .369 BAC.
Understood.
She took many packets of acetaminophen.
The relevancy of her prior
I believe she's
victimization.
because I believe she's subjecting her past experiences that she testified that she has onto my client.
Sustained, the court doesn't believe that that's what she's doing.
Okay. Have you had any other suicide attempts in the past?
Objection to relevance again, Your Honor, it doesn't matter.
She's, why is her health, her past health issues relevant to today's preliminary exam?
Because, Your Honor, I'm about to ask her about her mental health history.
So get to the part that you want to discuss that has anything to do with the issue today and not anything that she's experienced in her past.
Okay. Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health conditions?
Objection, Your Honor, again, to
Sustained.
vagueness.
Have you ever been diagnosed with any mental health conditions that might affect your judgment?
No,
Are you on any medications that might affect your judgment?
I'm going to object, Your Honor, to this fishing expedition at this point.
Sustained, she's not a medical professional.
Were you on any medications on the day and night that you were in the hospital?
just the acetaminophen I took.
Asked and answered.
Okay. Isn't it true that you told one of the doctors that you really weren't committing suicide, that you just wanted attention?
Yes,
Okay. So, who did you tell that you wanted to commit suicide?
I told my ex-boyfriend, the one that called the ambulance.
Okay. And you told the doctor that wasn't true and you were seeking attention, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know, did you have your blood drawn when you were in the hospital?
Did I? I believe I did. That's how they got my blood alcohol level. I believe so.
Do you remember it?
I get my blood drawn so much. No, I don't remember.
All right. So, if you had your blood if you had your blood drawn, you don't know.
I can't remember.
All right. Do you remember having an EKG?
No, I didn't.
All right. No, you don't remember, or no, you didn't have one?
I didn't have one
Okay. And how do you know that?
because I never had an EKG done. I was just only in my room with they would just come with the blood pressure cuff, and I never had to get that machine put on me.
All right. Did you have an IV?
In my belongings.
Did you have an IV put on you in the hospital?
Oh, IV.
Judge,
I
I'm
thought you
going
said
to object
IV.
just to relevance. I don't know how this makes it more or less likely.
I'm really wondering where you're.
I would like to
going.
see what her memory is of the time she was in the hospital.
Okay.
She seems to
I'll
have.
allow it.
Thank you, Judge.
Do you remember having an IV?
I can't say yes or no to that because I had to have one because that's the only way they would have knew how much alcohol I had in me and when to release me.
Do you remember having an IV on you?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you remember being attached to any other wires or devices in the hospital?
I remember getting my blood pressure taken.
Do you remember who took your blood pressure?
No.
Okay.
I didn't see the first person that took it, I don't remember. It was the ambulance.
While you were in the hospital, did you have your blood pressure taken?
I got my blood pressure took a couple times, so I don't remember everybody, but I do remember it got took.
All right. Do you remember any other tests being performed on you?
No.
Do you remember if, let's say, Trey, what kind of room were you in?
I just wanna make sure that we're on the same page, because even if if she doesn't remember having any other tests done, or if she doesn't remember any of the IVs, I don't know that she had it either. How will I know if it's inconsistent?
Your Honor, I am asking questions
Do you know,
to see what her
whether or
memory
not,
is.
but if she says.
Do I know? Yes, I do know.
So are you submitting anything that says that what she's stating is contradictory?
Not at this time, but I wanna see what her memory is like from that night and day when she was in the hospital. I wanna see what details she
It's just not,
remembers.
I don't see the relevancy, because I don't know how to gauge whether or not she actually had an IV, or if she actually had her blood pressure taken. If she's saying that I don't remember having it done, perhaps she didn't have it done.
Or maybe she just doesn't remember.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have more questions for her about
You-
this. So, what,
We do have
I'm almost done.
two other cases to get to, and you were late.
I'm almost done, Your Honor. Can I ask you, what kind of room were you in?
I was in the crisis center room.
All right, and did you have anybody else in the room with you?
No,
Was the door open?
there isn't a door. It's just a curtain.
All right, and was the curtain closed?
No,
The curtain was never closed?
no,
Okay. And were the lights on at all times?
yes.
Okay. Do you know what your blood alcohol level was when you left the hospital?
No, but it was low enough to where they were able to send me home, where they said I was
How
not
do you know
wrong.
that?
Because that's what they told me.
But you don't know what it was?
Not exactly, no.
Okay. Okay, did you talk to any other patients while you were in the hospital?
I talked to, it was a guy, we sat out in the lobby and talked for a second.
Did you talk to any female patients?
No.
Did you get in fights with any patients?
Objection, Your Honor, to facts not in evidence.
Your Honor, I'm trying to find out her memory. It's not evidence.
We
'Cause I'm
have
asking.
enough to know what she remembers. I have enough to know what she remembers.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No, Judge, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yu. You can step in.
Thank you.
Any other witnesses?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Do you have any other witnesses?
Yes, not for this case, Judge.
Not for this case.
Yes.
Mr. Prince, calling witnesses on this case.
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Closing. Statement.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Your Honor, at this time, the people with motion for find over as charged, the court here heard testimony which meet all of the elements of MCL 750-520 D1B, which is criminal sexual conduct in the third degree under force or coercion. First, that the defendant engaged in a sexual act that involved entry into the victim's genital opening by Wilfredo Figueroa Berrios' fingers, and penetration under the law, as you know, Your Honor, is any penetration, no matter how slight. When I showed her with my hands what it looked like, she said that he came from behind and that she felt his fingers swipe through her vagina before he smelled them. Second, Your Honor, that the defendant effected sexual penetration through force or coercion. Under MC Crim Jury Instructions 20.24, the definition of sufficient force includes Section 5, it is enough force if the defendant was giving Brianne Heat a medical exam or treatment and did so in a way or for a reason that is not recognized as medically acceptable. You heard Ms. Heat testify that she wasn't sure why he was putting his fingers in her vagina because he is not her gynecologist. He was a nurse and he was treating her at the hospital. Your Honor, those are all the elements of criminal sexual conduct under the third degree force or coercion, and we request that this court find over.
Counsel?
Your Honor, this complaining witness is not credible, and you're allowed to take into account the credibility of the witness. She had a .369 blood alcohol content when she came in there. She admits she had way too much to drink. She does not even remember what her blood alcohol content was when she left the hospital. She was drunk while she was there and on many pills. She cannot remember if my client was her only nurse. She cannot remember if she had an IV. She cannot remember who put an IV in if she had one. She cannot remember anything. She is not credible because she was completely drunk. Your Honor, in the police report, it says that she told investigators she had 2.5 pints of vodka prior to coming into the hospital, which tracks with a .369 BAC. That's more than 4.5 times the legal limit. There is no way she would remember anything that was going on, and that's why she can't remember even having an IV in the hospital. It's also why she can't remember what tests were done or anything that happened. She only says, well, it must have happened to this. Sudden, she remembers these details just about my client, and she remembers them, as she said, after she came back from the hospital, told nobody, did not complain to the police, but as soon as she saw something on TV from Top Dog Legal looking for clients, and looking at Channel 7, all of a sudden, she contacted Top Dog Legal, got a lawyer, and now here she is. So this is about money. This is about somebody that is very troubled. She admits, by the way, that she lied about committing suicide to go to the hospital. And then she also admits that she did it for drama and to get attention. This is a person that is a documented liar. So she's lying about this too. She has no credibility. And Your Honor, again, I know that the standard for binding something over is very low, but even at this low standard, you can and you should take into account the credibility of the witness. And this witness with a .369 BAC, 2.5 pints of vodka, says she lied about committing suicide to go to the hospital and admits that she said that she lied about it. This is a person who admits she lies. She has zero credibility, and I ask that you not bind this over. Thank you.
Rebuttal, Your Honor.
You may.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, Ms. Schlessel and I agree on one thing, that she is vulnerable. However, she is also credible. And Judge, we see that through the admitted reports, People's Exhibit 2, where in her medical reports of August 12, 2025, the defendant is listed as her nurse, corroborating that he in fact treated her. Furthermore, on page 62 of 87, we have admitted statements here where she told a social worker, and it's documented in her medical records, that she was inappropriately touched and sexually assaulted. And this is long before Top Dog Legal came about, long before she
Is
even
that in
knew.
this report?
Correct, Your Honor.
Can you
It's on
direct me to the page, please?
page 62, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to that because there was no witness to corroborate that she told them that. And
It's in the
hearsay.
medical report
But it's still
that you've
hearsay.
already allowed.
But it's still hearsay.
I have the medical report, page 62.
Yes, Judge.
You can proceed.
Thank you.
Oh, were you done with your
Your Honor, I
rebuttal?
was just going to reiterate that she had no motivation to make something up about someone she didn't even know at the time, that she only learned through seeing his picture in the internet time afterwards, and then contacted a lawyer. But at the time, on August 12th, when the assault occurred, she was honest, and she doesn't remember every aspect of her medical treatment, but she remembers what stood out to her, which was that a nurse sexually assaulted her, and that was different than the treatment she's received in the past.
Thank you. So, Counselor, I will agree, Counselor, that I am allowed to take into consideration the credibility of the witness. The standard is inherently incredible. The court does not find that Ms. Heed was inherently incredible. As a matter of fact, I find her very credible. Her statements were consistent not only throughout her testimony today, but also consistent with the medical reports that we have here today that you had no objections to. The fact that, one, that she admitted to lying about her boyfriend, I'm not sure how many of us have boyfriends, especially at a young age, who have maybe lied to a boyfriend, is absolutely, perhaps we've all done it. It doesn't state that everything that she stated on the witness stand today is not credible. In fact, the fact that she admitted to lying actually contradicts that she's incredible. She's admitted on the stand that she lied for the attention of a boyfriend. The court doesn't believe that this has gone over into this report that she actually told. Not only did she tell the doctors in advance that she lied about committing suicide or the attempt to commit suicide, but she also told somewhere between August 12th and August 13th that someone touched her last night in her room. The fact that she was ignored by the hospital does not mean, the way that you stated, that she didn't tell anyone, or I believe you said she told nobody until she saw a commercial for Top Dog. She told someone, they ignored her. So until she had an identification, which is consistent with her testimony today, she didn't know who the person was. The hospital didn't tell her an actual name. And your client certainly didn't tell her his real name. The fact that she had drinks in her system and her blood alcohol level was high, she stated on the stand that she knew that she had been drinking, but not only did she know that she had been drinking, your client knew she was drinking, so it made her more vulnerable. Does not make it to where she doesn't remember what happened to her. Perhaps she doesn't remember getting an IV, but you remember being sexually assaulted. The court is going to bind over on the charge of criminal sexual conduct in the 3rd degree with the SORA notice. The court does believe that a crime was committed and that the defendant is the person who committed the crime. The next date for the defendant to show up over at the Criminal Justice Center will be on November 9th. November 9th at the Criminal Justice Center at 9 a.m.
Your Honor, November 9th is a Sunday.
I'm sorry, I believe we used it yesterday. No. November 10th, I'm sorry, November 10th at 9 a.m. Thank you. Is there anything further?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
That does conclude this matter. I believe we have 2 more cases for the same defendant.
That's correct, Your Honor. Thank you. Ms. Williams, I'd like to bring your attention to August 18th of 2025. Did something happen to you on that date that brings you to court today?
Yes, I was sexually assaulted.
And when you say you were sexually assaulted, do you know by whom?
Yes,
Who?
it was my nurse.
And could you describe that nurse?
Like a brownish complexion, Latin accent.
Do you see that nurse in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Could you please identify him by something he's wearing and location in the courtroom?
a green shirt.
And could you point to where he's located?
Right over here.
Your Honor, may may the record reflect that Ms. Williams has identified the defendant?
So noted.
Thank you. So, Ms. Williams, I want to, you testified that you were at the hospital. Can you tell us what brought you to the hospital?
Apparently I had passed out, and a bystander had called the EMS to see if I was okay.
Okay. And when you passed out, do you remember generally where you were located?
At the Dollar General.
And what is the next thing you remember?
I wake up at the hospital.
Do you know which hospital you woke up at?
Yeah, I know because I've been there before for alcohol-related reasons.
Okay. And is it fair to say you have an alcohol issue?
Yes,
What hospital was that?
Sinai Grace.
Now, do you recall what time of day it was when you passed out?
The time is a little bit fuzzy, so I'm not sure.
Do you recall what time you woke up at the hospital?
No, because I didn't have a cell phone, so I didn't, the time, like I said, the time, I don't really have track of the time.
Okay. And, Ms. Williams, can you describe for this court what you're feeling when you wake up? How are you feeling physically, emotionally?
When I wake up, I was a little confused that I was at the hospital. I feel still intoxicated, that's when I popped up, but
So tell us about that. So you wake up and you're still feeling drunk?
yes. So I'm feeling fuzzy, not in my right state of mind, not myself.
And what, if anything, happens next?
Then the nurse, do I say it?
This nurse?
Yes,
Okay.
came into the room. It was kind of like a flirty banner, he kept saying my last name is Williams, Miss Williams, and you're pretty sexy. And then he placed his hand on my breast. I was wearing a hospital gown,
Could you show us where he put his hand?
right here.
Madam, may the record reflect.
I am probably gonna, I couldn't see on there.
Oh,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
That Ms. Williams is holding, do you remember which breast it was, or just
Just in this area.
rubbing her chest with her hand?
So noted.
And what is going through your mind when this happens, when the nurse does this?
Still confused, not really sure. He leaves out, and then he leaves out, and then he comes back, and then that's when he had me. He was on the left side of me, and he had me at that time place my hand on his penis.
Okay, so how long between the time he touches your breast and then he comes back in?
I feel like it was maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure on the time because I don't think it was a clock there.
Okay. And is it fair to say you're still feeling intoxicated?
Yes, completely. Yeah.
What do you mean by completely?
Not not blackout, but still very intoxicated.
And when he comes back in, what part of his body or your body touches?
He touches my breast again, and then he takes my hand and he puts it on his penis, and it's erect.
Okay. You could feel his penis erect?
Yeah.
And how did your hand, get on his penis?
He guided my hand.
He guided your hand?
Yes.
And again, what's going through your mind at this point?
Still just kind of confused, but it's just I wasn't in my right state of mind, so not really understanding what was going on fully. I understood what was going on, but it was weird.
And you testified that he was saying some things. Do you remember what he was saying?
He just kept saying my last name over and over again, and then also that first time it was you're pretty, you're sexy.
Had a nurse ever spoken to you that way before?
No, never.
And what, if anything, happens next?
So he has me, and then after he guides my hand to his private area, then he exposes his penis
his penis?
Yes,
Do you remember seeing his penis?
yes.
Could you describe it?
It was just, it was brown. That's all I remember.
And does he say anything at this point?
No, he just, like I said, he guides my head and he,
So where is he? And I'm sorry, backtracking a little bit. Who's in the room when this happens?
just me and, Mr. Berrios.
So just you and the defendant?
Yes,
And are you in a private room?
yes, yes.
And where are you when he guides your head?
I'm in the hospital bed.
Are you sitting, standing?
I'm laying down, like on my side, and then when he guided my head, I kind of like got up a little bit, in the bed.
So do you remember how he got his penis out?
He just pulled down his scrubs.
So just pulls down his scrubs a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Could you see more than just his penis or just the penis?
Just the penis.
And then could you show us how he guides your head?
He just like that, guides it.
John, may the record reflect Miss Lynn's pushing the bottom back.
So no, that,
Okay, yeah, and then he guides my head, and then just like a couple minutes, and then he leaves out.
And what part of his body went in your body?
His penis went inside of my mouth.
Okay. And when you say your mouth, did it go past your lips
Yes,
and teeth?
yes.
Does he say anything at this time?
No, it just, like I said, he just kept saying Miss Williams with the accent.
I'm sorry, with the what?
With the accent,
Okay, that's what you remember?
yeah.
Is this the only time it happens?
No, he comes back in the room 3 to 4 times. Like I said, it's like a little, it is somewhat like slightly fuzzy, but he comes in and then after maybe like the 3rd or 4th time, he stops.
And when you say he comes in 3 or 4 times, does he do this each time he comes in?
Yes,
Okay. So the second time, is it the same where his penis goes in your mouth?
yes,
And the 3rd time?
yes,
And then you said possibly a 4th time?
yes.
Is there anybody around that could see or?
Not that I really, that's a good question. I don't know, but I know that like how the room, it kind of like my bed kind of like set back, but it had no curtain or a door.
And when he's making you before fellatio, how long? Is it long periods of time or is it quick?
It's quick, it's very quick.
Did you know who he was?
I just knew he was my nurse. That's all.
And how did you know he was your nurse?
Well, because he had like the nurse's badge.
Could you see his face on the badge?
Yeah, but I want to say like his badge was hanging a little bit lower.
Maybe lower.
Yeah.
Could you see his name on the badge?
No, I did not know his name. I didn't see his name.
Did you find out his name while you were at the hospital?
No. All I saw was like the RN on his ID.
And what if anything happens next?
Well, then it stops, and then they release me from the hospital, which I'm still kind of intoxicated. I walk home.
So Ms. Williams, let me ask you about that.
Uh-huh.
When you're released,
Mhm.
you're still feeling intoxicated?
Yes, yes.
And after you're released, what happens?
I walk home, and then I go upstairs. I talk to my children's father, and I tell him what happened, and I'm just like, it was like the weirdest thing, and like I still I didn't understand how to process it, because I'm like, maybe by me being intoxicated, it was my fault. I was blaming myself, like, and like Jeff, he asked me, he said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure it happened." And I was like so confused, very, very, very confused. Like still trying to like process that happened at a hospital, because I've been going to the hospital. I've been struggling with alcoholism for a while, and that has never happened, ever.
Do you eventually figure out who did this to you?
I didn't figure out who did this to me until I saw, I think, Detective Valerie, when I did the lineup.
So police contacted you first, you never contacted police?
Well, so then what happened was after that, I had, so after that Tuesday, I had drank again, and then Jeff wanted to take me to the hospital, and I told him I didn't want to go to Sinai Grace because I was like scared to go there, so he took me to Trinity Health.
So Ms. Flays, I'm gonna just ask some follow-up questions on that. So Tuesday, so some days after this
Mhm.
incident,
Madam Prosecutor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think I may have, who is Jeff?
could you tell us who
Jeff is the father of my two sons.
Oh, I see, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. So some days later, how many days after the incident,
Did I go back to Sinai Grace?
did you go back to, I think you said Trinity?
Trinity it was the same day I was released,
Okay, same day you were released,
but in the afternoon, later in the day, around 5 o'clock, or maybe like 6.
and you testified you didn't want to go to Sinai Grace?
No, absolutely not.
And why did you want to go back to Sinai Grace?
Because I was like afraid to go back to Sinai Grace. Like I said, like even still being intoxicated, like I knew it wasn't, it wasn't right.
Were you admitted to Trinity?
Yes, and then I ended up going home that morning.
Do you go back to Sinai Grace after the incident?
Yes, because I'm still drinking. So I go back on Thursday, and then when I
How do you get back there?
the EMS.
EMS?
Yes.
Do you have any memory of what happened before you're the ambulance?
Not much, but that I just had I had passed out somewhere, and a bystander thought that someone was trying to like pull me in their car, so they called 911.
Okay, so very similar to the first time?
Yes, yes.
And so you wake up at Sinai Grace?
Yeah, I wake up at Sinai Grace, and I'm feeling like I'm detoxing, right? So my heart is racing, my blood pressure is up, I'm feeling sick, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have a seizure. So like I was asking like them to set up the pads and stuff, and it was just like an issue or whatever. They didn't want to set up the pads. They didn't want to give me any medicine. They didn't want to treat me. I think his name was Dr. Edgar or something like that. But anyways, so then I guess that would be Friday morning. A nurse came in.
And Ms. Williams, let me ask,
Okay.
do you see the defendant when you go to Sinai Grace the second time?
I do not, but I do hear his voice, and he calls my name, and I instantly feel scary because they were trying to take me to CAT scan.
What did you hear?
He just said, Miss Williams.
And you knew it was him?
Yeah, I could tell it's him by his voice and his accent.
But you don't see him the second?
No, I do not see him.
Do you tell anybody?
Not at that point. I didn't tell anybody until Thursday morning when I talked to a nurse. I don't remember her name, but she came in the room, and I was just telling her, and I said, when I was here Monday, something happened to me, and I explained to her what happened, and
This is a nurse at Sinai Grace?
yes.
And what did she look like? Do you remember her name or?
I don't remember her name. I just know that she was like around my complexion. Very, very, very nice. Very nice lady.
And what did you tell her?
I told her about like the treatment from the doctor, and I told her that something happened to me on August 18th, and because like at that time I was still processing. I wasn't sure. I was blaming myself, which it was my nurse. I was under the influence, but so I told her what happened, and she said I told her what happened, and then she kind of like cried with me and told me about her brother who struggled with alcoholism, and like I explained to her, I'm like, was it my fault? Did I do something? And she said, she said it wasn't, and it was wrong. So I disclosed to her, and then after that, I didn't see her again. they took me to the 5th floor. And once I got to the 5th floor, which was like a room where I had a roommate, I kept asking for a patient advocate or a social worker.
Did you get one?
No.
Do you speak to anyone else about this at the hospital?
Yes, over and over, my nurses, also an infectious disease nurse came in, and I explained to her what was going on, and her response to me was, so you're telling me you had consensual sex? And I said it was not consensual.
I'm sorry, who said that to you?
It was an infectious disease, like, head nurse.
And you responded it was not consensual?
No, it was not consensual.
Do you eventually talk to police?
Yes, so that Monday I told them, because they were giving me a bunch of medicine, I said I didn't want any more medicine, and I just kept asking, patient advocate, social worker, and they wouldn't send anybody. I felt like I was like being bullied. Finally, one nurse said, I'm gonna go get security. So a female security officer, she came up, she wrote it, she took my statement.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said, she took my statement, and then, after that, like, I already had, like, they had been gave me, like, discharge papers, so then after that, I ended up walking home, and when I got home, maybe, like, 3 minutes of me being there, I heard a knock on the door, and then there was a female officer there, and, I explained, she said, you know, they wasn't supposed to, like, let me leave the hospital, but she was able to find me, so it was okay. And then she came, she took my statement, and then, after that, I ended up meeting Mr. Valerie.
So the police approached you?
Yes, the police approached me.
Ms. Williams, how has this incident affected you?
There's like a lot of shame and guilt.
What do you mean?
I mean, I was in a room with no door, no curtain, and you know, if I was in my right mind, like that would have never happened. I feel shame. I feel dirty. I feel disgusted with myself.
Your Honor, this time the people would move to admit people's proposed exhibit. I think the other one was
Two.
This is one. Medical records from the date of treatment.
This
under
is a
MCL.
separate case though.
Oh, correct. So I'd move to the People's Exhibit 1,
Thank you.
and under MCL 766.11B.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object, there's nobody here to authenticate them, and there may be some things in there that are other than timestamps and things of that nature that are hearsay.
And under the statute, Your Honor, which I have here, 766.11B, admissibility of evidence at a preliminary examination, says that the magistrate shall allow the prosecuting attorney or the defense reports to come in when they are forensic science reports and medical reports.
All out.
May I
You may.
approach?
Thank you.
And with that, Your Honor, I have no further questions.
The court will admit exhibit, People's Exhibit 1. Counsel, question here?
Yes. Ms. Williams, have you ever been convicted of any crimes of fraud or dishonesty in the last 10 years?
No, but
Alright,
that's not.
When you were referring to the child of your children and you said that you told him about this, what is his full name?
Jeffrey McBride.
Jeffrey John McBride?
Yes.
Okay. Wasn't there an incident with you lying to the police about drugs involving Mr. McBride?
I'm going to object, Your Honor,
No.
to
Absolutely
relevance
no
and
relevance
just
in this case.
smearing.
Your Honor, goes to her credibility.
She already asked her if she's ever been convicted of crimes of theft or dishonesty within the last 10 years, and she said no.
I can still ask her if she's lying.
I'll allow them, I'll allow it.
You ever lied to the police?
No.
Did you lie about drugs that were involved in a raid of Jeffrey John McBride's residence
Just
afterwards?
question, Your Honor, ask
No,
answer.
that never, I'm not quite sure what you're talking, what date was this
Your
incident?
Honor, I'm gonna object to ask and answer.
I don't,
She did answer your question.
All right, I wanna remind you, you're under oath.
yes.
Was your home ever raided by the police and then you lied for that?
No,
Objection,
never,
Your
but
Honor.
it never that never happened.
And you never lied about whose drugs?
Sustained,
No. Jeffrey is an accountant, he,
I
oh,
sustained
so,
the
okay,
objection.
thank you.
What does he do for a living? As you started to say.
He's an accountant,
He's an accountant?
yeah, with one class from his master's degree, there's no drugs in the house.
Okay. Have you been contacted by any trial lawyers?
Trial lawyers, what does that mean?
Did you hire a trial lawyer?
I spoke with someone, but that's, not hire,
You didn't hire anybody? There's no lawsuit that you filed involving my client?
that has, you can refer to my attorneys with that.
No, I'm asking you the question, you are under oath.
Mhm.
I'm asking you, have you hired a trial lawyer?
Yes, because I want
Okay,
justice
but
for what
at
happened
first
to
you
me.
said no, why?
No, I didn't say no, but I want justice for what happened to me. It should have never happened.
That's not my question. My question to you is, did you hire a trial lawyer?
Yes.
And did you file a lawsuit against my client?
Against your client, no. I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
Is your lawyer here
Your
today?
Honor, I'm gonna object argumentative at this point
It's
and
very
relevance. I don't see the
argumentative.
relevance.
Your Honor,
What's your relevancy?
she just testified she didn't file a lawsuit against my client.
So the relevancy for the question in the first place, to make her have to even answer whether or not she filed a lawsuit against your
Because
client.
it's related to this case, Your Honor, and I would like to know how she got in touch with her lawyer, and it goes to her motivation in
And I
this
believe
case.
we had the same discussion previously, and I stated again that if there was contact with a civil lawyer after the fact, then it's irrelevant. Sustained.
All right, Your Honor, you did allow me to ask questions of the previous witness about how they got in contact with the lawyer and whether they were contacted.
But you
I
were,
wanna ask the same question.
it was a very murky area then, and it is still a very murky area now. You can ask, it honestly isn't gonna change her credibility.
Did you contact a trial lawyer?
She did
I
answer
already
that, so
answered
the
that.
objection is sustained.
No,
I'm
I
asking
asked if she hired, I didn't say if she
If
contacted.
she hired one, then
course
she
it-
contacted one. Don't play semantics in this courtroom with me.
Your Honor, I'm asking, it's a different
It's
question.
not it's semantics. If she hired an attorney, she contacted one.
How did you get in touch? Is your attorney Mr. Todd Flood?
I'm gonna object, Your Honor, to relevance. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter who her attorney is. She's answered that she hired an attorney. Move on.
How did you come into contact with that attorney?
Objection to relevance again.
I'll allow it.
How I came into contact with them?
Yes.
I was looking to see if somebody could help me navigate what was going on, and I called a couple attorneys because I was very confused. My family told me that I should contact an attorney, and I came promised that it was some other people I contacted, but he called me back, and he was more personable and stuff, so.
So you contacted him, not the other way around at first, correct?
Yeah, not the other way around.
Okay.
But I contacted him after the sexual assault, not before.
How long after the reporting to the, did you contact him after or before you contacted the police?
After.
And how long after?
That I'm not sure. I can't give you an exact.
Was it a few days? Was it a week? Was it a few weeks?
It
Was
was.
it a month?
It was at least a week or a few weeks.
Okay. And when you got out of the hospital, did you contact police
Which time?
the first time?
No, I did not, because I was still intoxicated and I was confused.
It's just a yes or a no.
Okay.
Did you contact the police?
No.
Okay. The second time, did you contact the police?
Yes.
Did you contact them or did they contact you?
Well, I told the security guard, which I feel like it's like their officers. And then the police they came to the house, but wait, what was the
Please
question?
answer the question.
Yeah.
Did you ever call 911 and say, police, I was assaulted or molested?
Again, I was intoxicated. I
So
wasn't.
that's a yes or a no. Did you ever call the 911?
No, because I was.
That's a yes or a
No.
no.
Just answer yes or no.
No.
It's okay.
Did you go to a police precinct to report this?
No.
Okay. And do you know what your blood alcohol content was when you got into the hospital?
I do not.
All right. Are you aware that you had a .418?
No, I'm not aware of
All
that.
right. Do you know what the legal limit is?
She wasn't driving
I wasn't.
recklessly.
Well, I understand that, Your Honor, and I didn't say she was.
I'm not happy. It's not.
Are you aware that .418 is a very high blood alcohol content?
Yes.
Okay, and are you aware that it's more than 6 times the legal limit? I'm sorry, more than 4
Counselor.
times the legal limit?
Counselor, what's the relevancy? She wasn't driving. The legal limit is for what purpose? To walk home from the police? From
I
the
understand, Your
hospital?
Honor, I was informed.
Sustained.
How many hours were you at the hospital on the first visit?
Like I said, the time is a little bit fuzzy. I'm not sure.
How many hours were you in the hospital the second time?
The second time I stayed for like 4 days.
The first time that you were there, how many times did you see Mr. Figueroa Berrios?
The first time I was there, I saw
Yes.
him at least 4 times.
Over how many hours?
Like I said, it wasn't a clock in the room. I didn't have a phone. I don't know.
Well, do you think it was more than 2 hours?
If I answer yes or no, I don't know.
You can't remember it all.
Yeah, like I didn't have a phone, and I don't remember a clock being on the wall in the room. So like I don't really have like a good grasp of like the time.
Do you remember any other nurses treating you?
No.
Okay, and you were there, you don't know how long you were in there, you don't remember how many nurses. Do you remember if you had an IV?
No, I didn't have an IV.
Do you remember if you had any tests performed on you?
I think they took blood, yes.
Do you remember anything else? Any other?
My memory goes from when I wake up, when I like pop back into like myself. I get from the blackout and I pop up.
When you woke up, was it morning? Was it night? When was it?
I believe it was nighttime.
Okay, and how many hours do you think you had been there, if you know?
I don't know.
Okay, and were you on any pills or any other substances?
No.
Were you on any medications?
Do I have to like tell my medication?
Actually, she doesn't have to tell what
No.
medication she
No.
Were you on any medications that are mind altering?
No.
Have you been diagnosed with any mental health conditions that would affect your
Objection, Your Honor,
judgment?
to vagueness.
Do you have any conditions that would affect your judgment?
No.
Your Honor, you're not allowing me to ask her if she has mental health conditions that would affect her judgment?
She said that she doesn't have any judgment
No.
impairment.
Well, she objected and you sustained it, so she didn't answer.
What was your second question?
Well, the question I wanted to ask is if she's.
What was your second question that she answered?
My
Refresh memory.
second question was about medications
So she's
and
not-
conditions. It's not the same.
You can ask it.
All right, have you been diagnosed with any mental health conditions that affect your judgment?
Not my judgment, no. Would you like to know what I was
No.
diagnosed with? Okay, it's not one that affects my judgment, no.
Have you ever been diagnosed with mania?
No, never.
Have you ever been
Are we
diagnosed
just,
with?
do you have anything to support these questions, or are you just on a fish hunt? And I'm gonna remind you, you were over an hour late and we have a 3:15 hearing.
Your Honor,
So if this is just a fishing expedition,
no,
move
it is
on.
not.
Well, she's answered no to 3 out of the 4 questions that you've asked, so clearly you don't have anything to support why you're asking these. Move on.
I mean, I think the reason I'm asking them is to see if there's anything that would affect her
So
judgment.
how many are we gonna go through?
Your Honor,
Do you have anything to support or to substantiate what you're asking? If you do, I'll allow it. If you don't, we're not going on a fishing
Well, in
expedition
the
about her
report, it's-
mental health.
in the reports and the discovery.
That was a yes or no.
Yes.
You have,
In the
do you have an exhibit that you'd like to submit?
A police report is not an exhibit, but it has.
About her
been
mental
diagnosed.
health?
There are statements in there about her mental health, that she's been diagnosed with all kinds of mental health conditions. I wanna ask her about that. All
May
right,
I
Your
say
Honor, then I
something?
will move
No,
on.
you may not.
Okay,
Only the questions that I asked.
okay.
Do you know what your blood alcohol content was at the time that you left the hospital?
No,
Do you know if your blood alcohol level was taken or tested at any other time beyond when you arrived at the hospital and when you left?
no,
Is the reason that you first came to the hospital the first time because you fell asleep on the floor of a Dollar Tree store or a dollar store?
She testified that she passed out at Dollar General. Are we going to continue to ask the same questions? Cause I can give you my notes if you didn't have the answers.
Your Honor,
She
I'm sure-
testified that she passed out in the store at the Dollar General, and someone called the police, and she ended up waking up in the hospital. Do you not remember that?
I remember that, Your Honor,
Okay.
I heard that.
And I did too, so move on.
Okay. Do you remember if you were treated by any doctors when you were in the hospital?
I'm not sure which doctor treated me the first time.
That was a yes or no.
No.
Do you remember?
No.
You were treated by doctors.
If I was treated by
Yes.
doctors, no. I don't think that I was.
But you don't remember?
No, I don't remember seeing a doctor.
Okay. So, were you taken for any kind of tests or anything outside of your room?
No,
All right. And you stated there was no door or curtain in the room you were at?
no,
Okay. So the general public could see you, correct?
no, not the way that the room was positioned.
Isn't it true that you took your gown off a few times?
No,
Isn't it true that you fell in the toilet and you called my client to help you?
no,
So is it your testimony you never called my client to help you?
I might have called and asked for help because I wasn't feeling good, but not for, no, I mean, he was my nurse, I was at the hospital. I don't understand what you're asking me. Of course, I would call my nurse, I'm in the hospital.
Did you call a nurse to help you in the hospital?
I'm not sure, I think when I first popped up, yeah, I called for a nurse.
For what reason?
I think I had to use the restroom.
Did you fall in the toilet?
No, not that I remember, no.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Rebuttal.
Very, very briefly, Your Honor, I only have 2 questions. Ms. Williams, you were asked on cross-examination if you called for a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall if you called for a nurse generally or if you called for for this specific nurse?
A nurse generally.
And my second question is, you were asked in cross-examination why you didn't contact the police at first.
Hmm.
And why did you not contact the police?
Because I was still confused with the situation, and I was blaming, like I said, I was blaming myself. And when I just told the nurse in ER that Thursday or Friday morning what had happened to me, she said, you know, I still couldn't process it. I didn't understand. I thought it was my fault because I was intoxicated. It just happened. I felt like I did something to make him do what he did to me. So I didn't, until I talked to that nurse, the very nice nurse, and explained and told her everything. She said what happened to me wasn't right. And then, you know, and then that's when I started asking, well, I want an advocate. And I just want to say, like, I didn't go to the police. I wanted I thought the hospital would handle it. I just didn't want Mr. Berrios in the hospital. Like, I didn't know how. Like I said, I was, you know, I was still processing. I didn't even know what the thing. I just thought, like, reported to the hospital. I didn't even think about calling, you know, 911 or anything.
Thank you. No further questions.
I have one. When was it first reported to the hospital?
It was reported that Friday morning. I think that would have been the 22nd.
Before you were released?
No, this was the second. So I went back on
the second time, because you were just not gonna go back the second time, but they ended up taking you in the EMS.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's when it was reported to the hospital.
Yes, well, I reported that, I want to say it was the 22nd, that Friday morning, like early in the morning.
Okay, understood. Any other,
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
anything more, please?
No witnesses or questions, Your Honor.
You may step down.
Okay, thank you.
It's 3:24. I'm gonna hear your arguments. I have to argue on this one and then call the 3:15 case that we're behind on now.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, the last witness. Count one, which is criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, victim physically helpless or mentally incapable. Your Honor, here, Ms. Williams testified that the defendant put his penis in her mouth while she was at the hospital and mentally incapacitated. Mentally incapacitated means that Elise Williams was unable to understand or control what she was doing. In this case, due to alcohol, the defense clearly brought out that she was at least 6 times the legal limit, and she testified that she was in fact still feeling drunk by the time that she left. And I apologize, Your Honor, it said CSC 1, but I meant CSC 3. I apologize. That was my mistake. So count 1, criminal sexual conduct, 3rd degree. The next element, Your Honor, is that the defendant knew or should have known that Elise Williams was mentally incapable or physically helpless. Judge, he was her nurse. He had her charts. He knew she had been brought there by ambulance for intoxication and that she was mentally incapacitated. The charge is also in the alternative, force or coercion, and force or coercion means that the defendant either used physical force or did something to make Elise Williams reasonably afraid. Furthermore, Your Honor, the definition of sufficient force includes it is enough force if the defendant through concealment or by element of surprise was able to overcome the victim here. And here, Your Honor, you have a woman who is there because she is very intoxicated. She is confused, she doesn't know what she's doing, and she's surprised when her nurse pulls out his penis and then guides her head to give him fellatio. She testified that happened 3 to 4 times, Your Honor, and that would satisfy counts 1, 2, and 3, which are criminal sexual conduct in the 3rd degree. For counts 4 and 5, Your Honor, the elements are that the defendant intentionally touched Ms. Williams' genital area, and here we heard that he touched her breast as well as he had her place her hand on his penis. That's for counts 4 and 5. Second, that when the defendant touched Ms. Williams, it was considerably done for sexual arousal, gratification, for sexual purpose. Judge, I can't see any other reason for a nurse to be touching a patient's breast when she's not there for a breast exam, or to have her touch his penis other than for a sexual purpose, sexual arousal or in a sexual manner. Third, that this all happened when Elise Williams was mentally incapacitated. And once again, Your Honor, you have a woman here who passed out in front of a Dollar General, was brought by EMS for intoxication, is confused, doesn't know what's going on, is clearly not in her right state of mind. And in fact, even hours after, when she's leaving, she's still intoxicated. And for all of those reasons, Your Honor, we would ask for bind over on criminal sexual conduct in the 3rd degree for counts 1, 2, and 3, and criminal sexual conduct in the 4th degree for counts 4 and 5.
Your Honor, Ms. Williams states, admitted she was intoxicated. She had a .418. That may make her vulnerable, but it also makes her memory terrible and her recollection of events awful. She fell asleep in a Dollar General. She claims my client was there 3 or 4 times in the room. Then she said it was multiple times, she can't remember. She was on phenobarbital and going through withdrawal. She's hired a trial lawyer, so she's trying to get money. She's suing my client civilly and the hospital. Your Honor, she can't remember much of anything except against my client. She doesn't remember if other nurses treated her. She doesn't remember if doctors treated her. She doesn't remember much of anything. She doesn't remember falling inside a toilet. She claims she was in a room with no door or curtain, yet nobody saw anything that she's claiming, nobody. She went back to the hospital a 2nd time. She says that she was sent there, that she had more alcohol problems. She could have left the hospital the 2nd time if she was that alarmed by this hospital. She can't remember anything, her memory is faulty, and she was intoxicated. Somebody who doesn't remember anything, but yet they remember these details, it's a very selective memory and it's not credible, and you are allowed to take into account the credibility of the witness, and in this case, she does not have credibility. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm happy to argue rebuttal argument if need be.
It's not needed. Okay. So first of all, Ms. Williams, the court will find that Ms. Williams' testimony was in fact very credible, definitely not inherently incredible, but I would say almost to beyond a reasonable doubt, which is not the standard for probable cause. The fact that her memory, or we won't use it as a fact, if her memory was terrible or because she was intoxicated, perhaps that is the case, but we don't know that her memory is terrible because she was intoxicated. That is a question of fact for the trier of fact. You've stated that she fell into a toilet. She doesn't remember falling into a toilet, but we have no evidence that she even fell into a toilet. But the fact that she called her nurse for assistance, if she called her nurse for assistance, that's his job, is to assist her. And even if she fell into the toilet, she didn't fall into his penis for his penis to end up in her mouth. So if she fell into the toilet, it's actually irrelevant. I don't really care if she fell into the toilet. His penis didn't fall in her mouth. He placed it in her mouth. And her testimony is extremely credible because it's hard. I can't imagine how hard it is to get on a witness stand with TV cameras in your face and have to admit that you have a substance abuse problem, that you drink until you're passed out. You keep saying fall asleep. She didn't fall asleep. She passed out at a Dollar General, which makes her vulnerable, which your client has preyed upon that vulnerability, which is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You're there to seek medical attention, whether it's mental or physical. She's there for medical attention, not to be fondled, and definitely not to perform fellatio on her caretaker. Her caretaker. Because of that, I find her to be more credible, although it probably was the reason that she was targeted, because she wasn't gonna remember, right? Because she was intoxicated. Who's gonna remember the drunk girl, right? But because of that, that's exactly the reason that he thought that she would be a good victim. Nope, she was actually a very good witness because of that. No one wants to get on the stand and expose themselves in that way. She was very credible. The court will find that the people have met their burden and will bind over on all charges of count 1, criminal sexual conduct 3rd degree, count 2, criminal sexual conduct 3rd degree, count 3, criminal sexual conduct 3rd degree, count 4, criminal sexual conduct 4th degree, and count 5, criminal sexual conduct 5th degree. The court believes that there is probable cause to believe that a crime or several crimes occurred, and that the defendant is the person that committed those crimes. The next court date, and you can actually change the court date for the first one as well, and it will be on November 6th. November 6th at 9 a.m. November 6th at, oh wait, I'm sorry, that's October 30th at 9 a.m. Thank you. And to correct the record for the previous case, these cases are going together. It will be October 30th on the previous case as well.
Your Honor, I'm in circuit court and in trial all that
You
week.
can contact circuit court to change it. These are the dates that they provided to us.
All right, what happened to the other date?
They provided a different date. You have 3 cases. And this one has ran over tremendously, has run into my 315 preliminary exam, which will be a dismissal. So if I can handle that dismissal, we'll take a brief recess on this matter, or the third matter will be called after the.
Enjoy more of our videos on the Community Advocate Network channel, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to advertise your service, special announcement, or event, you may contact us at the Community Advocate Network at gmail.com. For community resources or services, visit our website at www.cammichigan.com.